Hello again, everyone, and thank you for joining me. It's time to preview the Jockey Club Gold Cup, the premier race of Belmont Park's Fall Championship meet. Grade 1 race, $1 million purse, and 12 horses signed on to go 1.25 miles around Big Sandy. Looking at some recent history in this race, in the past 14 runnings of the Gold Cup, only 4 horses as a 3-year-old have won. Albert the Great in 2000, Bernardini in 06, Curlin in 07, and Summerbird, the most recent 3-year-old to win the Jockey Club Gold Cup. That was back in 2009. That does not bode well for V.E. Day, Wicked Strong, and Tonalist, the 1, 2, 3 runners from the Travers. Having said that, you can make a strong case individually for all 3 horses. V.E. Day is the now horse of this field. He won the Curlin, he won the Travers, and he's handled the switch from turf to dirt no problem for Jimmy Jerkins. The problem with V.E. Day is you will not be getting the same value that you got on him in the Travers, 19-1 in the Midsummer Derby, and he's 5-1 in the morning line for the Gold Cup. As for Wicked Strong, he is the 3-1 morning line favorite, and he's been a super consistent horse. 4th in the Derby, 4th in the Belmont. He's had 2 big wins this year in the Wood Memorial and the Jim Dandy, and he probably would have won the Travers if it wasn't for maybe a premature move by Regime Mirage, or maybe the blinkers did not allow him to see V.E. Day coming on the outside late in the game. But the fact is, Wicked Strong shows up every single time. 3-1, not great value on Wicked Strong, but you cannot deny the fact that he runs great every single time he steps on the track. And then you have Tonalist, the Belmont winner, getting back to a track we all know he can run very well at. He takes the blinkers off this time. And I think you can dismiss the Travers for Tonalist because that was such a bizarre way the race unfolded. And that's not the true Tonalist. I don't think he's meant to be that close to the lead. The blinkers maybe had something to do with that, so Christophe Clement taking them off. And there is pace in the outside to this race with Moreno and Big Casanova. So if those two are going to be forced to go from the outside, especially with the unique starting point at Belmont Park for these 1.25 mile races, that could prove to be pretty well to Tonalist. He doesn't have to be so close with Joel Rosario. They can sit back and relax a little bit. But even Tonalist doesn't offer the greatest value at 4-1 in the morning line. So 3-year-olds against 9 elders trying to buck some recent trends going against 3-year-olds in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. Another main point I want to make about this Gold Cup is I think you have to look at some of the horses in the Woodward that were not able to close into It's My Lucky Day and Moreno's pace. The track that day at Saratoga in the Woodward was very kind to speed. Moreno sets the pace, and It's My Lucky Day chases him down late in the game. And it was very difficult for any of the horses mid-pack or towards the back of the pack to make up any ground. And you have some horses coming out of the Woodward at some pretty good prices. Horses like Last Gunfighter, Stefanozzi is another one I have my eye on, and Prayer for Relief. You look at Last Gunfighter, 20-1 morning line from the 2 post. Prayer for Relief, 15-1 from the 5 slot. And then you have from number 9, Stefanozzi at 20-1. On a fairer racetrack with a good pace to close into, these horses are well within their talents to close into that hot pace if they can get the fractions they need up front. And with the 2 horses on the outside, they may very well get that. The problem is we don't know what kind of track are we going to get. Is it going to be favoring the rail? Is it going to be a speed bias track? We don't know yet. We'll get that answers, of course, when the race starts. But those are 3 horses at great value that I think you can dismiss their Woodward because it was so hard for them to overcome that track bias up at the Spa. The third thing I want to point out is Moreno. Now, he's 7-2 in the morning line, the second choice in the betting. He had a great campaign up at Saratoga, put him to sleep on the lead in the Whitney, almost got it done again going wire to wire in the Woodward. The problem is he's stretching out from 1 1/8 to 1 1/4 at Belmont Park, and I think the outside post hinders him. As we said before, it's such a unique start at Belmont Park when they run these 1 1/4 races because it's not a true straightaway, and horses from the outside are at a disadvantage. Throw into the fact both horses on the outside and here are speed horses, those jockeys are going to have to send them right from the get-go and try to gain some early leads on these other horses that have a more favorable position towards the rail. An extra furlong against some horses I know he's already beaten, but I don't know if you really want Moreno at 7-2. That's what you have to ask yourself in this race. Is Moreno worth betting at 7-2? I'm not disputing his talent. I think he's a great horse, and he's had quite the 4-year-old campaign. But one of the fascinating things I find about this year's Gold Cup is there's not a clear-cut horse to beat. So why take 3-1 on Wicked Strong or 7-2 on Moreno when you have some other horses in here at much better prices that on their best day can win this race? With that said, I went to Ziva, who is 6-1 in the morning line, getting back to Belmont Park where he has 4 wins and 6 career starts. The Woodward just appeared to be a prep for him, and again, he had to overcome that tough track bias up at Saratoga. He is the play for me in this race. And then Tonalist, one of the 3-year-olds we mentioned before. I know 3-year-olds don't typically win these kind of races in the Gold Cup, but Tonalist, again, to me, getting back to Belmont Park is so key for this horse. I have to use him in here, even though he doesn't offer great value. Where I'm trying to make my money in the Gold Cup is with the exactas and with the trifectas. I really like Last Gunfighter, Stefanozzi, and Prayer for Relief. Those 3 horses coming out of the Woodward. They could not close into that Saratoga track on Woodward Day. They are much better prices, and I would much rather take them at their big prices than Wicked Strong or Moreno. Even though I know they are good horses, I will not be using the top 2 in the betting interest in the morning line. So that's a quick preview of the Jockey Club Gold Cup at Belmont Park. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day at Belmont. You also have on Super Saturday across the country Shared Belief, who is arguably the top 3-year-old in the country going at it in the Awesome Again Stakes. He appears to be the clear-cut favorite, and if he wins that race, there is no doubt about it, he would be the favorite going into the Breeders' Cup Classic. So thanks again for watching, and have a great day at the races.